So girls, in statistics, it is important to create graphs that represent the data effectively. Now in previous classes, we have learned to create joint bar graphs. We understood that joint bar graphs are useful for comparing the data. Today we will learn about a new type of bar graph which is called subdivided graph, which is also useful for comparing data. Okay?
Yes.
Now we'll see how to draw a subdivided bar graph.
Okay.
So now observe this table. It contains the data about the number of boys and girls in different classes of a school. Now using this data, we will create a subdivided bar graph. So I'll tell you what are the steps to draw a subdivided bar graph. Okay?
Okay.
First, let's draw x-axis and y-axis on graph paper and mark their intersection as point O. Now, let's write standards on the x-axis, keeping equal distances between two consecutive bars. So see, now this is first, second, third and fourth. Now, on the y-axis, we will represent the number of students. So, we will use the scale 1 centimeter is equal to 10 students. Let's mark this. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140. Let's draw bars for each standard showing the total number of students. Now after this, let's mark the height for the number of boys in each standard. So in first it's 60, in second it is 62, third it's 65, fourth also 65. Now the remaining part of the bar will represent the number of girls in that standard. Now let's mark this part with slanted lines. Basically, you can also use some other options to show the two parts of the bar. On the graph paper, along with the scale, it is necessary to mention which part is represented by which symbol. So, we will write it here. Both of you have understood this concept?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Now, using the following information, try to draw a subdivided graph by yourself. Okay? Now see, this table provides the data about the number of trees planted by students of different classes in a school's garden. Okay, so now you have the information. Can you try to draw the subdivided graph by yourself?
Yes.
Okay, come on.
Let us draw the x-axis and the y-axis. Now, let us mark the origin O. Let's mark the scale on the graph paper as, on the y-axis, 1 centimeter is equal to 10 plants. The symbol used to represent flowering plants are flowers and fruit-bearing plants are circles. We shall mark the standards 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th on the x-axis, keeping equal distances between two consecutive bars. The number of plants on the y-axis according to the scale are 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 and 60. Let us draw bars representing the total number of trees planted by each standard. Now, Let us mark the number of flowering trees in each bar with the specific symbol mentioned above. The remaining part of each represents the number of fruit-bearing trees. This part in each bar is shown by the above mentioned symbol. Dada, look at this bar graph.
Excellent, well done. Okay, let's move to the next example now. Observe this subdivided bar graph. This subdivided bar graph has been drawn based on the data of voting conducted at 5 polling centers in the Gram Panchayat election in a village. I'm going to ask you the questions now. Let's go with this first question. Tell me, at which polling center is the number of female and male voters the same?
Polling center number 2. At this center, the number of female and male voters is 900 each.
Correct, perfect. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Now tell me, at which polling center the number of female voters is less than the number of male voters?
Polling center number 3. At this center, the number of female voters is 800, while the number of male voters is 900.
Perfect. Let's move on to the third question now. Tell me, at which polling center the highest number of votes has been recorded and which polling center has received the lowest number of voters? And also tell me, what is the difference in the number of votes between these two centers?
The highest number of voting has been recorded at polling center number 5, where a total of 2,500 voters cast their vote. The lowest number of voting has been recorded at polling center number 3, where a total of 1,700 voters cast their votes. The difference in voting number is 2,500 minus 1,700 is equal to 800.
Correct. Perfect. Okay. One more question. Now tell me, what is the total number of voters who voted at all 5 polling stations?
Polling station number 1. Total votes 1900. Polling station number 2. Total votes 1800. Polling station number 3. Total votes 1700. Polling station number 4. Total votes 2100. Polling station number 5. 2500. Total number of votes 10,000. The total voting at all the 5 polling stations is 10,000.
Great, absolutely correct. Okay, so now both of you must have understood this concept very well of this subdivided bar graphs, correct? Yes. Now practice to solve some more examples related to subdivided bar graphs. Okay?
Yes.
Keep practicing. We'll meet again. Okay?
Yes, I will. Thank you.
What did we learn? Double bar graphs are useful for comparing the data. Divided bar graphs are also useful for comparison. We learned how to create and interpret divided bar graphs. Exercise. The following table shows the runs scored by Neeraj in each inning in 5 test matches. Draw a subdivided bar graph based on this data. Also, calculate the average runs scored by Neeraj in this series. Match and the innings. In the first match, first innings 45 runs, second innings 67 runs. In the second match, first innings he scored 102 runs and in second innings he scored 55 runs. In the third match, in the first innings 80 runs, Second innings 132 runs. In the fourth match, first innings 30 runs, second innings 150 runs. And in the fifth match, in the first innings he scored 83 runs, second innings he scored 56 runs. The information about how many students from 5th to 8th standards come to school by bicycle, walking or by school bus is provided in this subdivided bar chart. Observe the graph and answer the following questions. How many students walk to the school? How many students use bicycles to travel to school? How many students use the school bus? In which standard maximum number of students prefer walking to school?